Welcome back, everybody, to the Cleveland Guardians franchise here on MLB The Show 22. Today we have Game 5 of the American League Championship Series. It's currently tied at 2 against the Chicago White Sox. Which team will take the edge going back to Chicago for Game 6 with a 3-2 lead? It's been a very competitive series so far with our rivals, the White Sox. We split the first 2 games at home in the last episode, winning the first one 9-4, losing the second one 6-1. In Game 3, it was all about the offense. We accumulated only 9 hits through the first 2 games combined, and in this game we got 9 runs. Really, everything offensively was flowing. I think Tristan McKenzie could have pitched better if not for a rain delay between the second and third inning. Not that it really mattered because we hit super well. We did not hit super well, however, in Game 4, losing 6-1. Adbert Alzolay did not pitch well, whereas Clayton Kershaw looked like his peak self, nearly going 8 innings, only allowing 1 run. So it's been really tight so far. I'm happy that we've been able to stay competitive, but if we want to advance to the World Series, we've got to, maybe win this Game 5, put ourselves ahead going back into Chicago. The offense has been streaky throughout the playoffs. There's been good, there's been bad, and I think you can say the same about the pitching staff. Although we've been able to win some really impressive games this postseason, we also haven't really been all that consistent. We won our first 3 postseason games, if you count the wild card game, but ever since then, it seems like we're splitting games 1 apiece, and we haven't really been able to find a consistent groove. So hopefully we can here at the end of this series, starting with Game 5, and going back to Chicago with a 3-2 lead. It's an overcast one here in Cleveland. Not rainy, but the weather isn't necessarily great either. The weather throughout these first 5 games against the White Sox has been very spotty, which I guess is what happens when you get into the month of October. Whoever wins this game, of course, as I said, will take a 3-2 series lead, headed back to Chicago for Game 6, and if needed, Game 7. Shane Bieber warming up in the bullpen for Cleveland. He'll be opposed by Joe Ross. Cleveland obviously has the advantage pitching-wise. The White Sox have their worst starter, whereas Cleveland has their best. So on paper, the Guardians should win this game if all goes well as we take a look at both lineups 1-9. Here's Shane Bieber making his 4th postseason start of the season. 2-1, 2.95 ERA, 1.09 whip. He performed pretty well in his first appearance in this series against the White Sox. Hoping to do well again here at home. Brandon Nimmo up for the White Sox. 3-2, checks his swing. Umpire says he did not go around. So that'll go for a walk, and the White Sox get their first base runner of the day. That'll bring up Luis Robert, who's been great for the White Sox in this series. Not so great there. It's a 6-4-3 double play. That'll end the inning. A good start for Bieber Fever. As we go to the bottom of the first, take a look at Joe Ross making his first postseason appearance. Mainly used as a reliever this season. Only started in 8 games, but still accumulated 134 innings. He was about as average as it gets. He wasn't good, but he wasn't bad either. Jesus Sanchez is up. He swings and misses at the slider. After the ALDS, Sanchez was really Cleveland's best offensive player through the postseason by far. Here against the White Sox, he's been a little bit quiet. Hopefully he can pick it up today as Eloy Jimenez goes down on the slider. Good pitch by Shane Bieber. Here's Riconde Diaboculis. Goes down on the circle change. All aboard the Shane train because Shane Bieber's looking pretty good so far, although it is early. Here's Yasmani Grandal, the 2-2. Swinging a miss on the fastball. So Bieber strikes out the side here in the top of the second. We'll go bottom 2. Can Cleveland score the first runs of the game here in this inning? Full count pitch here for Josh Bell. That probably would have been a walk, but instead he's going to hit it up the middle for a single. So he's on first base anyway. Not too much of a difference. Cleveland has a runner aboard here for Dansby Swanson, who's performed very well against the White Sox. He singles into left. Although Cleveland's offense, I think, has taken a step down in this series against Chicago, Swanson is really playing well. He kind of struggled against the Yankees, but has looked really good against the Sox. Manuel Margot goes down on the sinker. Good pitch by Joe Ross, and Cleveland would not score anybody in that inning. Let's go to the third. Gleyber Torres goes down looking on the fastball. 4 consecutive strikeouts for Shane Bieber. The White Sox are really struggling to put the bat to the ball right now. Here's Yoan Moncada. There's another one. This time the knuckle curve. At least Cleveland's getting the ball in play, getting base runners. The White Sox aren't even touching it. Bottom 3. Much of the same here for Cleveland's offense. They actually don't get any base runners this inning. Sanchez grounds to second, 1-2-3 frame. It is a pitcher's duel between Shane Bieber and, who would have guessed, Joe Ross. Hopefully Cleveland's offense can pick it up here before Chicago's does as Garrett Hampson hits that one down the line. What a play! Jose Ramirez guns him down. Garrett Hampson's really fast, but he's not able to get by the arm of J-Ram. Jose Ramirez's defense in the postseason has honestly been pretty bad, so it's good to see him making one of the best defensive plays that Cleveland has had through the entire postseason. An 81-mile-an-hour throw at 140 feet of total distance. My, oh my. Luis Robert goes down on the fastball. Another dominant inning of work for Shane Bieber, who currently has a no-hitter through 4 innings. Can he keep it going as this one goes along? Let's go bottom 4. Let's see if Cleveland can get on the board here. Jose Ramirez leads the inning off, and he crushes it in right field. A no-doubter for Jose Ramirez, and the Cleveland Guardians are on the board first as they lead 1-0. Ramirez with his second home run in the playoffs, a 425-foot nuclear missile for J-Ram. Let's go into the 5th. Eloy Jimenez up for the White Sox. He strikes out. Man, what a performance by Shane Bieber, continuing to pitch at a very high level, at the highest level in the playoffs. Riconde Diaboculis rips that one down the left field line and fair, and the no-hitter is over for Shane Bieber, as it's going to be a 1-out double for Riconde Diaboculis, and the White Sox have a base runner for the first time since the first inning of this game. 2 away for Gleyber Torres, lines it nicely into center. That's going to drop for a hit. Diaboculis rounding third, headed home. The throw from Swanson is not in time. So it's an RBI single for Gleyber Torres. And the White Sox are on the board. They tie it at 1. So Chicago answers a home run from Jose Ramirez as we go into the bottom of the 5th. Luis Campusano up for the Guardians. He hits this one into the right center gap. That one looks like it'll go for extra bases as he rounds first, heads to second for a double. Good swing, good hit there by Luis Campusano, the young catcher. And so Cleveland opens up the inning with a runner in scoring position and a great opportunity to regain the lead as George Valera rips it into right. Campusano is going to head home. The throw to the plate is, well, there isn't going to be one. RBI single for George Valera, and the Guardians' offense looks a lot better these past couple of innings than they did earlier as they now lead 2-1. One away here for Jesus Sanchez, grounds it to short. 6-4-3 double play. It's been a rough one tonight for Jesus Sanchez, but still a good inning. The White Sox add 1, and Cleveland adds 1 right back. 2-1 going into the 6th. Shane Bieber still on the mound as he strikes out Gavin Sheets. If this series goes to a Game 7, I think the Guardians are going to want Shane Bieber in some capacity, maybe not to pitch a lot, but I'm a little bit surprised they've had him go this long. I guess they can't really reason with themselves to pull him with how good he's been as he forces another 1-2-3 inning. Shane Bieber's day is done through 6. Again, he'd probably stay in the game longer, but if this series goes 7, Cleveland might want him for 2 or 3 innings, so they want to be able to get every ounce of energy out of him as they can. Jose Ramirez strikes out to lead off the inning. You may notice there's a new pitcher, Lance Lynn, in for Chicago as he faces off against Josh Bell, who lines that one into right center for a home run. His 5th of the postseason, tying Jesus Sanchez for the most home runs on the team here in the playoffs. Interesting decision to go with Lance Lynn. He's their line reliever. It's not like we're early in this game, so I'm a little bit surprised that they did that rather than going with one of their normal relievers, especially because they don't play a game tomorrow. The next game would be in 2 days. Dansby Swanson strikes out, but still not a bad inning. The Guardians have scored in 3 consecutive innings today, and they lead 3-1. Hopefully they can keep this lead for the rest of the night. Dylan Tate into the game here in the 7th. His 6th postseason appearance. He's allowed 2 runs in 6 innings so far. Not too bad. As Eloy Jimenez with 1 away hits a single into center. With how good Shane Bieber pitched, you got to hope the bullpen can hold on to this lead. We know the back end of Cleveland's bullpen is fantastic. Got to assume we'll see Camilo Duvall and Emmanuel Clase tonight. As Diaboculis grounds it to short, Swanson tags the base, tries to get the out at first, but he cannot. So it will not be a double play for the Guardian defense. And the White Sox keep the inning alive a little bit longer as Yasmani Grandal grounds it to third. Ramirez deflects it. Going to be a close play at first, and he is not in time. Yasmani Grandal is not the fastest, but he is able to beat out that throw. So now there's 2-1, 2 away for Gleyber Torres, who grounds it to second. Ketel Marte flips it over to Swanson. Good inning there by Dylan Tate and the Guardians. This place is on their feet. It may not be the nicest day outside. A chilly, overcast October night has not stopped the Guardian faithful from supporting their team and has not stopped the Guardians from playing well, as they're still up by 2. Zane Rowley getting some run here as he enters as a pinch hitter, drawing a walk. The 19-year-old rookie has not done a great job hitting the ball in the postseason, but his discipline has been very good. Ramon Ramiro, known for his discipline, swings at a pitch he probably shouldn't have. A circle change low and out of the zone as Lance Lynn would get through the inning pretty easily. Going into the 8th, Camilo Doval is in for the Guardians. We know he's one of the most dangerous relievers in all of baseball as Moncada hits it into right, and Rowley will not make the play. I think he went for that ball a little bit early, and that's going to be a double for Yoan Moncada to lead off the inning. Can the White Sox start a rally and get themselves back in the game against maybe the best reliever in baseball? Gavin Sheets hits it well into left. Valera cannot make the play as it goes off the wall. Moncada rounds third, heads home. The throw from Swanson is not in time. It's an RBI double for Gavin Sheets. So the first 2 batters of the inning hit back-to-back doubles. There's a runner in scoring position, the tying run, with nobody out as Garrett Hampson strikes out on the slider. We know Camilo Doval knows how to get out of jams. This is where he specializes. Up against Brandon Nimmo, rips it into right. Oh dear, this is not what Camilo Doval had planned. An RBI double for Nimmo, who's actually going to try to leg it out into a triple. So excuse me, it's an RBI triple for Brandon Nimmo. Not only are we tied at 3, but the go-ahead run is just 90 feet away from home plate. Camilo Doval not looking like himself right now as Robert grounds it to Doval, who hesitates, and he doesn't get anybody out. He was going to throw it to first, then he thought about going home. I don't know what Doval was thinking there. He just looks lost. He does strike out Eloy Jimenez for the second out of the inning. White Sox are going to need a base hit here to take the lead from Diaboculis. And this one is weakly grounded to third. Going to be a close play. Can Ramirez make the throw? He does! Good job by Ramirez, but not a great inning from Camilo Doval. Maybe his worst inning of the entire season. He allows 2. He has an error. Not good work from Camilo Doval as we go into the bottom of the 8th with a tie game. It's up to Cleveland's lineup to strike here late as Sanchez strikes out looking. Ever since the Josh Bell home run in the 6th, the Guardians' offense has done nothing against Lance Lynn, who is still in the game. Ramirez hits this one high and well into right center. Back. It is caught. Ho, that was really close. But Luis Robert is under it for the second out of the inning, and we go into the 9th. So it's not a save situation, but Cleveland is going to put Emmanuel Clase into the game now. It is tied, so their thought process is you might as well just have him come into the game now. There's no reason to not, as Yasmani Grandal strikes out on the cutter for the first out of the inning. Gleyber Torres is up. He goes down looking on the four-seam fastball at just under 100 miles an hour. Moncada grounds it to the pitcher. What a play from Clase as it's a 1-2-3 inning. Great work from Emmanuel Clase. He pitched a lot better than his all-star counterpart, Camilo Doval. As we go into the 9th inning, the Guardians with an opportunity to walk it off. Franmil Reyes leads off the inning, and he will hit that one past the glove of the shortstop Hampson for a single. The winning run is on first base for the Cleveland Guardians. Can they finish it off here in the 9th? 2 away for Eliezer Alfonso. Grounds it to short. Hampson bobbles it, flips it over to Torres. So no, Cleveland will not win it in the 9th. And through 9 innings, this game does not have a winner. We are going into extras. So Emmanuel Clase will stay in the game. The 9th inning, he threw 7 total pitches. So it's kind of an easy decision. And he would retire the side 1-2-3. Another fantastic inning from Emmanuel Clase. And another opportunity for the Cleveland offense to walk it off here in Game 5 and take a 3-2 lead before headed to Chicago. 2 away for Jesus Sanchez. Hits that one up the middle. That one will go for a hit. So the Guardians get a runner on base with 2 away. Extra base hit here from Jose Ramirez would end the game. Count is 1-2. Lance Lynn at 78 pitches as that one is going to get by Grandal. Sanchez thought about going 2. That was close. He was nearly out there. Following pitch, Ramirez strikes out on the high cutter. 80 pitches out of the bullpen for Lance Lynn. That's pretty much a start. Got to commend Lynn on an awesome performance. He will likely not return for the 11th inning. Speaking of inning number 11, Emmanuel Clase is still in for Cleveland as he strikes out Eloy Jimenez, now against Diabolculus, who hits it well into right field. Zane Rowley should make the play, and it looks like he will. What an unbelievable job by Emmanuel Clase, who retired the side in 3 consecutive innings out of the bullpen. Ryan Burr will enter the game. Burr, it's called, for Chicago here in the bottom of the 11th. As Josh Bell leads it off, he draws a walk. So Cleveland is the winning run on base with nobody out. Josh Bell is not the fastest fellow, so Cleveland will substitute him for their fastest bench player, Luis Rengifo. So he is now on first. Extra base hit wins the game to the Guardians as Reyes draws a walk. So now there's runners on first and second with nobody out, and now all Cleveland needs is a base hit. Swanson hits it well into center field. Robert should be under it for the catch. Rengifo will stay at second. No reason to risk him going to third. It's still only 1 out. Base hit still wins the game. Zane Rowley is now up to the plate, the 1-1. Rowley lines it into right. That's going to drop. Rengifo rounds third, heads home, and the Cleveland Guardians walk it off in 11. 4-3 is your final here in the 5th game of the ALCS, and the Cleveland Guardians are 1 win away from advancing to the World Series. What an odd game, but you know what? You'll take wins like this, even if it went into overtime with 2 extra innings needed. I think the player of the game who deserves the most credit has to be Emmanuel Clase. He pitched in the 9th, 10th, and 11th inning. He's a 1-inning guy, but he pitched 3 consecutive perfect innings. And if the White Sox won this game, I don't know how we would have gone into Chicago and gone 2-0, because this was a game that we really were in control of for most of it. So had the White Sox won, we would have had no momentum at all going into Chicago, and I feel like we would have been screwed. So this may sound like an overreaction, but I really feel like Emmanuel Clase saved our season tonight, and now we are 1 win away from advancing to the Fall Classic. Overall, both offenses were pretty bad for the most part. I think Joe Ross was pretty good as the starter for the White Sox. Lance Lynn did a superb job out of the bullpen. And then looking at our pitching, Shane Bieber with 6 excellent innings. Camilo Duvall had a really bad 8th inning, very uncharacteristic for him. But luckily, Emmanuel Clase was able to burden up the final few innings to win the game. As good as Clase has been, I think he's the 2nd best reliever in the American League this year. But I thought Camilo Duvall was the 1st best reliever in the American League. Maybe I had it wrong. Maybe Clase is better than Duvall, although both of them are fantastic. Who cares which one of them is better? We should just be lucky to have both of them on our team, even though Duvall struggled today. Again, it didn't matter because we still got the win. I don't think Duvall's confidence is going to be rattled. He hasn't been rattled throughout the season, so I'm really not all that worried about him. I am concerned about Duvall's energy level going into Game 6, because obviously Shane Bieber and Emmanuel Clase will both not be available. Duvall probably will not be either, so those are our 3 best pitchers we will be without for Game 6, and who knows about any of their statuses for Game 7. So we're going to have some decision-making to do on how we manage our pitching, but I will say this, it's going to be a lot easier knowing we're up 3-2 rather than being down 2-3. So we have the first elimination game of the ALCS in the next episode. With a win, we will advance to the World Series against the Colorado Rockies. With a loss, we will go to a Game 7. Should be fun. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.